Oh, there we go. It's green, hopefully. What's up, guys? Hopefully we don't overheat again. If we do,
it's your fault.
It's my fault.
No, it's their fault.
I know, I'm just gonna sit back here. If you hear the sound of blowing, that's me blowing the air on the camera.
Yeah. Effective cooling strategy.
But hey, you know what? I will spare no effort or expense to make sure that the students of Samurai Jiu-Jitsu get the full benefit of the instruction here.
Oh.
Half guard.
Half guard. What are we doing today, Coach Kevin?
All right. So I wanted to go over dealing with the half guard pass that we did yesterday, right? So essentially the reverse case here. So you're gonna go ahead and sit through Ethan, right? So first thing, prioritizing, right? Keeping my elbows in, right? And I definitely don't want to give him the opportunity to come up into my space here, because then it becomes very difficult to get him out of that space. So as soon as someone starts gearing towards doing this style of pass, we need to keep him down by the hips, right? It's not gonna stop him from doing everything, but it'll stop him from getting into an even worse position, right? Second thing I need to monitor, right? What's going on with my legs, right? If I just let them dangle open like this, Ethan will ballerina step out, or he'll do that, and he'll pass here, right? So we need to always make sure that we have the legs locked in here, or at least the foot, right? Ideally, I want to be above his knee with my legs, because if his knee slips out, right, he's going to drive it, and then we're in a different problem altogether here, right? So my legs, I like to kind of keep shelved a little bit over the top, at least until I'm going to do the thing that I like to do, right? So one thing that we don't want to do, right? All right, so the goal here is to do a bridge and roll, right? I want to bridge over, I want to put Ethan on his back, I want to come up on top. However, we've got to modify this little guy, because if I just bring my feet to my butt, again, Ethan ballerina steps out and he's passed. So I need to be able to do this while simultaneously monitoring and keeping in control of his legs here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to only bridge with one of my feet, right? The other one, the inside leg, this little guy's job is to clamp on Ethan's leg here, right? And if I don't think I can keep this leg clamped, I'm not going to do this move, right? But anyway, so I got my elbows in, I've got control over his leg, and then this outside leg, when I'm ready, its job is going to be to push against the floor here, right? So this one's clamping and controlling, this one's providing the acceleration for the sweep, right? So when I'm ready, I'm going to plant and drive my hip into him here, right? So from here, we're going to have to kick over the hip here. And now what's nice about this is we landed the half guard, but usually when I land, I'm already in this hip control zone here, so I don't have to get around his legs immediately, right? And then from here, I can switch my own hip and start passing here, or I can start going into more traditional styles of passing. But it's a nice little turnover. Okay, so he turns, right, we're framing, right? I usually turn and see if I can do anything with the feet. If I can't, right, I'm going to plant, I'm going to drive, and float the rest of the way over here. And right, you'll notice I'm already getting my frames in, right? And then from here we can start trying to scoot our hips up and extracting our leg here. Framing. If I can escape my knee here, I usually like to do that. Right? And then right now, my bottom knee is not framing into the hip here. So I don't like this as much, so sometimes I'll try and push this up and then add in the frame. Back step with, which is nice. right? So another option we can do from here, right? After we roll, whoop. Right, using the elbow here, clearing the knee. And once we drive the knee here, we can set up our truck. But yeah, a lot of the times here I'm also monitoring to see if I can like do anything with the legs here, or like kind of looking and making sure like his legs are in the orientation that will allow this to work, right? If his right leg is like up and planted, sorry, no, wrong leg.
Left leg?
Yeah, if his left leg is here and like not planted like that, but like active and pushing into the floor here, this might not be the best time to do the bridge and roll, right? So I can kind of see if his legs are doing anything that might prevent this, right? And if he is posting with that leg and making it so that I can't have that driving power, then usually I'll end up going in the other direction here, right? Because now I have a little bit more room to get my butterfly hook in, and I can try and pick this knee up and move him into this back take, where I can either work the truck or maneuver myself into a more traditional style. All right, so we've got options in both directions, which is nice. If he defends the up and over roll, then we'll try and move him across the body, right? Especially with our hooks. Cool. Now, stop this one.
Go back to the center to show that.
Yeah, we're just too safe with
I'll show the leg exchange. Right, so if he's like pushing into us a little more, right, what I like to do is try and get up and underneath his, well in this case, his right leg with my butterfly hook, right, and now I want to start moving his hips over. And if this arm can help pick up his hips, then I can slip this hook in here and start playing up this type of truck back take. All right, and sometimes you don't need the butterfly hook, but I think I do other things with it usually, so I prefer it. But sometimes we can just slip this here, especially if it's easier if he's driving his way down. And I find that the butterfly gives you a little bit more elevation so that you can slip underneath here. And then I'm being very direct with keeping my knee behind his knee here, right? And then that'll allow me to transfer into that trunk hook. Right, like keeping that one leg kind of like pinched in between my knees until I can get that hook in.
Yay.
I think that's more the gi style, right? Where you go all the way belly down. Where like,
Well, you can make a, oh, yeah, with the arm.
yeah, I'm like pushing away.
Well, there's the Shaolin, well, I don't know
Where
if
they-
Shaolin swoop from
You
your
come
cats.
up.
Because you would hold the lapel on the other side.
Yeah.
To grab that far side and then kind of
Yeah.
switch hands and go over. You have a lot of control there.
Oh, you think so? I'm passing guard all day.
And of course, you've always got the.
I hate that so much.
So keep your head down if you're on top.
I'm blowing on the camera now. That's me. You can hear me at home. The heavy breathing, that's me.
Lovely off-gassing bridge.
Off gassing.
Yeah, if I can, I like to try and play with this or get something under. I think the hardest part about this move is getting him up enough to slip the knee in. Right now, all of his weight is on the floor, so I'm not going to bother trying to pick him up here. It's easier. Alright, but if I can get his weight tilted over here, like I'll try and shift my hips over here, and then it's a little bit more doable. But if like all of his weight is just like sitting dead next to you, it's going to be really hard to make that elevation happen. And in that case, I usually try and like go with where that weight is there, bridging it to him.
What would you do if you kind of got stuck in hiatus? Would you abort or would you try to muscle through?
It depends. Like I would still try and drive forward. Depends on how active. I mean, if you're going for that foot, I don't know. Let me see. Like here, I feel good, right? I got the lockdown thing, like the truck-ish. Even if you want to go.
Then you still got roll, yeah.
Do the cross face.
The cross face?
Yeah, the cross face.
Okay.
Quick, because I don't know how much more time, because the camera's giving me the warm reading.
The cross face is really nice because, especially if you have your arm trapped, right? Because if our arm is trapped here and you manage to get this gable grip and bring him over, then we're in this head-on triangle situation here, where we can start getting this across and finishing here. But otherwise, like even if you don't have that underhook, we've still got a lot of leverage over the face, especially if you can catch, like here, the left side of his face, where I can start prying him up and over with very little, resistance on his part. The only thing we have to worry about is like, if he's ready for it, you're giving him your arm. So this is not something I would do against someone who seems like they want you to do it, right? But if they look up for time or someone says something weird or any sort of exposure of this face is a good opportunity to hook under, right? And I'm just gonna reach up, right? I wanna get like high, I want leverage, right? So I'm trying to find a place on his face where I'm able to turn his head, right? But, if I can just like take my arm and scoop it violently, you can do that too, but it's kind of mean. If I can turn his face and then use that to get the rest of his body to move, that's nice. Sometimes I'll be here and I'll give
At Fight to Win last weekend, Dante Leon against Giancatama, there was a moment in that match where this is essentially what Dante Leon did to Giancatama.
like
And didn't get him swept, but set the triangle off on him. So as Johnny Kama was on top, and he was trying to get on top, he tried to free that leg and pass, and then Leon slapped the triangle off of him. No, you have to stay up on your knees. He gets past that leg and he goes to square up, like chest on chest with you. And then Leon had that arm. He still had the arm.
So it was a head-on triangle?
Yeah, like that. But then he was able to put on the real triangle.
From
And
here?
then, yeah, well, because Leon was up and then Dante shifted his hips, and he got to the side, and then he was able to close the triangle. It was a pretty nice situation.
Interesting.
Anyway, I just thought I'd throw it out there if you want to go watch some crazy stuff that actually happens. You know, it was from a sweep that I think, you know, like Kama didn't make a mistake to be in that position. He didn't like raise his head up like foolishly. It was just from a transition to another position. I think he tried to backstep, and then Dante, maybe it was from a backstep, did that crossface or a version of crossface and then slapped the triangle and then scrambled. It's pretty sweet if you guys want to check it out.
But yeah, when you're on top, you should also be like very careful about your arm placement, right? Because even though you're on top, like say if Ethan puts his elbow up by my shoulder here, right? Go ahead and just put your elbow on the mat, right? If you're here, right, you're still at risk for a head-on triangle, right? So I mean, I'm not saying you can't do this, but you should know that if you're doing it against someone who's really strong or really assertive, they could catch you, right? And it's going to be one of those very uncomfortable neck cranky ones, right? So just be careful if you are here, right? Even if you're a little bit down lower, right? If this is a good position to be in if you're on top, as long as you maintain good weight on the arm. But if you're ever light, right, this is going to be a liability for you, right? Because your head and arm are connected there. So just be aware of the danger, and when you're on bottom, you know, look for any opportunity here, right? If I can hook, and then from here, I've got a good connection, and then I can finish my my sweep to come up on top. Watch your knee. All right, sometimes we'll end up in this kind of weird, either like trap position or like a version of like Kesa, depending on how you come up. I don't know if I can replicate it with you. That's this. All right. But you're gonna have to probably move into a more conventional style of side control, depending on how you come up here. But with the head-on triangle, it's nice because we're usually in a position to throw and take the back there. But every once in a while, I come up and I don't have an underhook on this side, and I almost get my back taken. So just be careful.
Oh, we just died.
We died.
We died. You gotta shit.
So the crossface, right? Sometimes if we can wrap the head, reach up, pull them in nice and tight. Now we've got him broken down, right? We've got his spine twisted, right? He's thinking about, oh crap, I'm getting choked from bottom. This is silly, right? So we plant. Now we're on top. The trouble here, right? Because his arm is across, we're not going to be able to worry about an underhook. So we're kind of forced to now come and turn into this reverse Keisugatami. But that's, I like it. So start pulling legs out, doing stuff.
It's almost like we swap positions right there.
Mm-hmm. But be very, very careful with that crossface because, you know, if you're going against a person who's, you know, been there before, they've been cross-faced, you know, they'll be waiting for it. So you gotta kind of pay attention to how they're acting and how they seem. If they feel aware, right, this is gonna be a bad idea, right? Because he's gonna grab it, and now we've got different problems to do, to worry about, right? But if you see an opportunity, you take it. So that's how I like to deal with that particular problem. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But otherwise, I'll see everyone tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
Later, skater. Yeah. Alright, now it's time to beat up.